we will start with the new chapter that is called as antiviral agents. As the name indicates, antiviral, that means the drugs which are useful to kill and or inhibit the growth of viruses. These agents, these drugs, they comes under the antiviral agents. Okay. So before going for the actual antiviral agents, we should know what is the process by which the replication or the growth of viruses takes place. What are the different properties of viruses? How they are differ from the bacteria? Now there are some infections which takes place in the body are due to the viruses. So each and every part of our body can be infected with the virus, giving a disease conditions. Okay. For suppose the common cold, the cold cough that we have, it is also due to the viruses. So this common cold is due to the influenza viruses, respiratory syncytial viruses. Okay. Eye infection is due to the adenovirus, herpes simplex virus, pneumonia, it is due to the influenza virus, adenovirus, SARS coronavirus, it is causes the influenza. Then there are some sexually transmitted diseases such as herpes, HIV, papillomavirus. This comes under they are responsible to produce sexually transmitted diseases. Then some skin infections or the skin infections like due to the smallpox, rubella, measles. They are the viruses due to which the skin infection takes place. Hepatitis A, B, these are the viruses. Hepatitis is caused due to the viruses. It may be A virus, B virus. So most of the body parts or the most of the our parts can be infected with the virus. So there is a wide variety of diseases which gets caused due to the virus, and it is difficult to cure such diseases. They are the harmful diseases. Okay, so nowadays the corona is going on, COVID-19 is one of the viral disease. Okay, so they spread fastly. So their multiplication, their growth, how that takes place, that is need to be studied. Then only we can use the drugs or agents which can inhibit this growth of the viruses. So what is virus? Virus is a tiny infectious agent. You can call it as a submicroscopic infection agents. They are generally dead, but when they are present on living cells, they can show their growth or replication. So outside the host body, outside the body, these viruses are they do not undergo any replication process, they do not undergo any uh, growth process. But when it enters into the host cell, it may be the human or any other, it may be the any animal. So when they enters into the host cell, they are responsible to cause the virus growth by their replication process. When the host cell get infected, they are rapidly produces thousands of copies of original viruses. Okay, so when they are outside the body, they cannot go replication. They will not produce another virus. But when it enters into the host cell, in very short period of time, they can multiply easily. They undergo a replication and they produces thousands of identical copies of original viruses. So spreading of the viral disease is more as they are responsible to growth fastly. Okay, so generally the viruses exist in the form of independent particles, and they are also called as virions or virions. So they consist of the genetic material, either DNA or RNA. What is virus? Virus is actually DNA or RNA, and around this DNA and RNA there is a protein code takes place. This protein code is called as capsid. They are responsible to surround this DNA or RNA, that is the genetic material. And outside that capsid, there is an envelope of lipids. So what is present? DNA or RNA is present. Suppose this is DNA. Around that DNA, there is a capsid is present. Around the capsid, there is a layer of lipid text. That is the envelope. Okay, in this way, the structure of viruses is present. Now there are two types of viruses. DNA virus. If the virus consists of DNA as a genetic material, there is absence of RNA. So such viruses, they are called as the DNA viruses. They can enter easily into the nucleus of host cell and they can generate new identical viruses. For example of DNA viruses are herpes viruses, smallpox virus, hepatitis B virus, human papilloma viruses. These are the viruses which consist of DNA as a genetic material. So they consist of DNA. Around that there is the presence of protein code called capsid, and around this protein code there is the presence of one layer. That layer is the lipid layer. Okay, and the second type of viruses, they are the RNA virus. So this RNA virus consists of RNA as a genetic material. So there is absence of DNA. They consist of only the RNA. A single RNA is present. Around that single RNA capsid is present, and around that the envelope of lipid is present. Okay, so polio virus, influenza virus, measles, HIV, rabies, coronavirus, these are the RNA viruses. They consist of RNA as a genetic material. What is the difference between viruses and RNA? Oh, sorry, viruses and bacteria. So viruses are non-living organisms. They are present in the dead form outside the host cell. When it enters into the cell, then only they can show the growth. While bacteria are living organisms, they can show the growth outside the body or inside the body, both ways. They are very microscopic. They are giant as compared to the viruses. These generally virus infections are systemic. That means they are produced through the bloods or the circulations. They are due to the confined to parts of the body, and the some systemic disease caused by the viral infections are AIDS, influenza, measles, COVID-19. These are the diseases. They are produced from the viruses. Some bacterial infections are pneumonia, food poisoning, TB, tetanus. These are due to the bacteria. Now, this is a general structure of any viruses. Okay, so virus consists of RNA and DNA as a genetic material. Around that, this green line, it shows it is a matrix protein, and around matrix protein there is a presence of lipid bilayers. Okay, so genetic material around that matrix protein is present, and lipid bilayer is present. In that matrix proteins there are two types of fragmentation, two types of parts are present. One is shown by the brown. Okay, so this is enzyme neuroamidase. हे काय आहे एन्झाईम न्यूरोॲमिडेज, आणि जे येलो कलरनं दाखवलेलं आहे इट इज हिमॅग्लुटिनिन. Okay, so these are the two neuroamidase enzyme and hemagglutinin. They are embedded into the M1 matrix, and these channels what we have seen in red color, they are actually the M2 proteins, or you can say M2 ion channels, through which the entry of different material can takes place. Okay, now this yellow is the hemagglutinin. This hemagglutinin is the this type of structure is having a globular head domain and is having a stem of stalk domain. So in this way, these hemagglutinin and neuraminidase, they are embedded into the M1 matrix. Then there is a presence of these M2 ion channel protein through which the transfer takes place. So this is the cycle of virus. What we have seen, when virus comes in the contact with a host cell, so the virus consists of hemagglutinin. Okay, so this hemagglutinin forms a bond between the polysaccharide of sialic acid. Okay, so they forms a bond between polysaccharide of sialic acid, which is present on the membrane of host cell, and when they forms a bond, attachment takes place, and next in the attachment then they enters into the host cell. So this is the entry of these viruses into the host cell takes place. Suppose RNA is the genetic material which is present in the that one. In the host cell, there is also part of the cell, that is the liposome. It is also present. So lysosome it consists of digestive enzymes and acidic part or acidic interior. That is the pH of acidic is maintained due to this part. So that is the lysosome. That is also the another part of the cell which is present in the all these human cells. Now when it enters into these parts, the digestive enzymes and acidic interior, so these digestive enzymes Okay, they come out of this lysosome along with the acid interior, and when they comes out of this acidic interior, it enters into the viral cell and break these proteins which form a link between RNA DNA and the membrane, and also change the hemoglobin to allows uncoating. Okay, वरचं hematocrit ते जातं आणि uncoating आहे ते start होतं. So when lysosome breaks the digestive enzyme acidic interior, it enters into the cytoplasm. Then this acidic interior, it enters into the viral cell, and when it enters into the viral cell, it breaks proteins which forms a link between RNA or DNA with membrane. Okay, so suppose this is RNA or DNA virus. It consists of RNA. So they're having a link with the this part. So this part breaks, and so RNA and DNA it separates from the coating of RNA or DNA. Then the polymerase takes place, nucleocapsid comes, and then there is a entry into the nucleus of host cell takes place, and such entry it's called as these RNA is called as negative strand RNA, as they don't consist of any kind of nitrogenous bases. They are non-coding. They are not coding for any of amino acids, so they are called as the non-coding. Okay. Then in non-coding, then when it enters into the nucleus of host cell, then there is a conversion of this one by using the cap snatching process, and the another strand is formed. Okay, so in this way, from one non-coding RNA, second coding RNA with the help of cap snatching, when it enters into the host cell takes place. Okay, so in this way, the another RNA or DNA is a form from single RNA of the viruses, and then it leaves the nucleus, and then ribosome is responsible to make the capsid. So when they leave the nucleus, they are also the non-coded. When they leave the nucleus, the ribosome forms a capsid, and in this way they are converted into the RNA virus. Okay, so these are some steps. Attachment takes place, then penetration takes place, uncoating takes place, then it enters into the nucleus of host cell, then there is a growth takes place, and at the end the release of these viruses takes place. So that is the general information regarding how the virus growth takes place, how they are released from the viruses. Now, next part, these viruses or the antiviral agents, they are classified into different types. First one, anti-herpes virus, in that iodoxaridine, acyclovir, ganciclovir, famciclovir, penciclovir, vidarabine, they comes under the anti-herpes. Second one, anti-influenza viruses, in that rimantadine is there, oseltamivir there, zanamivir there. Then antiretroviruses. So they are classified again into three types: liver transcriptase inhibitor, non-nucleoside liver transcriptase inhibitor, HIV protease inhibitor. So antiretrovirus means they consist of RNA virus. So when they consist of RNA virus, they have to first convert it into DNA, that is the reverse transcriptase process. Then this DNA forms RNA, and then protein biosynthesis takes place. Non-nucleoside river transcriptase inhibitor mean drug they don't have the structure resembles with the nitrogenous bases. And another enzyme, HIV protease inhibitor, as the name indicates, protease, that means they are responsible to break the proteins. Okay. Then we start with the drugs, that is the amantadine and rimantadine. Okay. So this amantadine and rimantadine, this is the structure of amantadine, this is the structure of rimantadine. So they are specific, they inhibit the replication of influenza A. They will not interrupt the replication of influenza B. They will only inhibit the replication of influenza A. So they have the different mechanism. First one, it acts by uncoating as well as viral assembly in replication. Actually, when the virus enters into the host cell, it undergo uncoating. When uncoating takes place, the RNA or DNA which is present in the virus, they are enters into the host nucleus. So that uncoating process, if we inhibit that uncoating process, the viral RNA or DNA, it will remain as it is in the capsid. So it will not introduce into the nucleus of host cell, and if it is not enter into the nucleus of host cell, it will not undergo the growth. So multiplication of viral will not takes place. Second one, it block viral membrane matrix protein, which functions as channel for hydrogen ions. So already we have seen in the structure of these viruses, they consist of the matrix, and in the matrix there is embedded M2 proteins, or the M2 channels are takes place. Through that channel, the material enters, and when if material is not enters through that channel, the factors which are responsible for the growth of cell, it will not takes place. This channel is actually required for the fusion of viral membrane and cell membrane, ultimately forms the endosome. So if this channel is blocked, this process will not takes place. That is the activity or the mechanism of action of drug amantadine and rimantadine. The next drug is drug oseltamivir. So this oseltamivir, this is the structure of drug oseltamivir. This oseltamivir is the inhibitor of enzyme neuroamylase. Actually, this neuroamylase enzyme, it is released required for release of virions from the infected cell. So in the end of viral replication, what happens? It will remain in the host cell. But for to release from the host cell, it requires the enzyme neuroamylase. If it is not there, if it is inhibited, virus multiplication takes place in host cell, but it cannot be released through host cell. It will not enter into the blood circulation, and if it will not enter into the blood circulation, the growth or the uh, infection of viral will not increase. Okay, so they are generally useful in the treatment of influenza, swine flu, bird flu, influenza B. So this is the detailed part of neuroamylase enzyme. So as we have studied the structure, there is consist of hemagglutinin and neuroamylase. So neuroamylase is one type of the enzyme. Okay, so as we have told that when it enters into the host cell, replication of virus, multiplication of virus takes place, and at the end there is a complete virus structure takes place, that is the RNA or DNA around that capsid is present, around that envelope is present. So when they are exiting or when they are releasing from the host cell, there is a bond formation takes place between the receptor containing sialic acid and hemagglutinin. Okay, so if that bond is present, these virions or the viruses, it cannot release from the host cell. So what the neuroamine does, the enzyme, what it does, it breaks this bond. And when it breaks the bond, the sialic acid separates, the virion separates. And this virion can be released, and it can be enters into the blood, and it can be provided to different parts of the cell, and it can show the multiplication. So it will happen when if the bond between the sialic acid and the hemagglutinin is break. Who break this bond? Neuroamylase enzyme. It is intact, it will not release. So neuroamylase releases this virus, but the drug oseltamivir is neuroamylase inhibitor. Okay, so this is neuroamylase inhibitor. So what it does, neuroamylase, so what it does, this inhibitor having like capping or cap like structure. So suppose this is neuroamylase enzyme, so the inhibitor, they having the cap like structure, so they cap the enzyme neuroamylase, and when this enzyme is capped, it will not responsible for the breaking of bond between the sialic acid and hemagglutinin. And if this bond is not broken, it will remain intact. There is no release of virions. So it will halt the viral replication. So it will not further enters into the blood circulation. It will not give to the other parts of the body, and there is no further multiplication of these viruses takes place. जे एंटर झाले ते काय करू शकत नाही, पण जे बाहेर पडून परत बाकीच्यांना इन्फेक्ट करतात थ्रू ब्लड और डिफरंट पार्ट्स ऑफ दी बॉडी थ्रू सेल्स, ते इन्फेक्शन आहे ते थांबतं, म्हणजे त्याचं मल्टिप्लिकेशन आहे ते थांबवायचं काम कोण करतं? दिस enzyme. तर oseltamivir, the next drug is zanamivir. It is also useful in the treatment of influenza, that is influenza A as well as the influenza B viruses, and they having the similar type of mechanism what we are seeing in oseltamivir. They are the neuroamidase inhibitors. Okay, so this is the structure of zanamivir. It inhibit the breaking of sialic acid of host cell carbohydrate and the hemagglutinin part of the viruses. And if this bond is not broke, or it will be intact, it is difficult for the virus to release and to provide the further multiplication. Now consider drug, that is the drug acyclovir. Now please go through the modification or the changes between guanine and acyclovir. Okay, so all the parts are the same. Here hydrogen, it is replaced by CH2O, CH2, CH2OH. That is the side chain which is present in the acyclovir. Now go through this guanosine. What happens? The hydrogen is replaced by the ribose sugar. Okay, so this ribose sugar is absent in case of drug acyclovir. Are you getting my point? Okay, so when we are giving the drug acyclovir, it having the hydroxy group, this part, it undergo the phosphorylation reaction. So this phosphorylation takes place with the help of enzyme kinase, and this kinase enzyme is from virus. So the viral kinase enzyme which is responsible for the phosphorylation of these hydroxy part. So when phosphorylation takes place, it is converted into this part, that is the O phosphate, and this is called as acyclovir monophosphate. Okay, now what happens? It again undergo phosphorylation process. And who does the phosphorylation here? Enzyme cellular kinase. So this cellular kinase continues the phosphorylation at this position, and it is converted into the biphosphate. Okay, so this second phosphate group is attached due to the enzyme cellular kinase. So we are getting the structure like this one. It is called as acyclovir di. That is the two phosphate group. So the di and phosphate. Again it undergo phosphorylation reaction with the help of enzyme cellular kinase. And third phosphate group is attached at this position to form acyclovir triphosphate. Okay, so the third phosphate group is attached and it forms acyclovir triphosphate. Now this acyclovir triphosphate, it enters into DNA or RNA synthesis. Okay, so when it enters, okay, so this part, it enters into DNA or RNA synthesis. But what happens? It is missing sugar part at this position. So instead of sugar, acyclic part is present. So when it enters into the DNA and RNA, it terminate the DNA or RNA synthesis process, or it forms a faulty DNA and RNA. Hence, there is no further protein biosynthesis takes place, required proteins are not being synthesized, and the death of cell takes place. Okay, so this is the first example regarding the acyclovir. Again, there are the different structures or the drugs which are resembles with the purine and pyrimidine bases. Similar pattern, it enters into the cell and it forms or it decreases the growth of DNA and RNA cell by forming or the chain termination or by forming the false DNA and RNA.